Speak like your future depends on it, because it does. The voice that shapes your life is your internal dialogue. It's literally what you're speaking verbally, but it's also what you're speaking to yourself about yourself. So, the most powerful conversation you'll ever have is the one that you have with yourself. It happens in silence, beneath the surface, but it shapes everything: your confidence, your behavior, your decisions, and ultimately your identity. Bad internal dialogue is not just negative thinking, it's a weaponized belief system aimed at your own potential. It's a loop, often inherited, it's unconscious, it's emotionally charged, and it tells you who you are and what you're allowed to become. If you've ever wondered why you self sabotage, shrink under pressure, or hesitate when opportunity knocks, the answer lives in your internal dialogue. The great news: the voice can be changed. It's not your truth, it's your programming. And all programming can be rewritten. We have to understand where the bad internal dialogue, we have to understand what it is. It sounds like, I'm not good enough. Who am I to lead? Who am I to succeed? It never works out for me. I always mess things up. No one really sees my value. Well, they don't see your value because you don't see your value. Your internal dialogue keeps your value stymied and stopped. I mean, just think about it. I mean, these aren't they aren't just random thoughts. They're literally scripts that you've written or somebody's written for you, but you bought into, and then you installed them inside yourself. See, you can take the victim mindset and say somebody did it to you, or you can take the responsibility attitude and understand that no matter what the environment was, you're the one that chose what you're believing in from the very beginning. But you're around the environment. Sometimes it's repetition. Sometimes it's by emotional experience that went unprocessed. I mean, your childhood conditioning. I mean, it's where your identity is formed through praise, punishment, or neglect. And, again, you got the choice even at that point, but you weren't experienced enough to make choices. So you either like it or you don't like it. Social comparisons. The poison of measuring your worth against others, especially when it's on social media, especially when it looks like their life is so perfect and so wonderful. And I've got news for you. I don't care who they are. Their life is not all that and peanut butter too. Everybody has got issues. Everybody's got problems. Money definitely helps eliminate issues and problems, but it just creates more issues and problems along the way if you're not careful. So nobody's got it easy. Nobody's got it safe. When you have it, you're afraid of people taking it away from you. So you're just choosing one fear for another fear if you're not careful. Failure trauma, where a painful experience cements a limiting belief. Well, we've all failed. And anybody that hasn't failed has never tried anything, because you can't try very hard on any level without failing. So what? Now what? Get over it. And then, of course, we got our survival identity, where your mind prioritizes safety over growth by keeping you small. And your comfort zone is a real thing, and it is grounded in your survival identity. It doesn't like change. It doesn't like it at all. But the real damage, what your voice, your internal dialogue, and even what you're telling other people, it's costing you so much. You don't rise to the level of the goals, but you fall to the level of your identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. When internal dialogue is toxic, it produces chronic anxiety. You've got imposter syndrome, overthinking and hesitation, low confidence and poor boundaries, a pattern of playing small in the moments that matter the most. It also rewires the reticular activating system, your RAS, in your brain to filter the world through your limitations. You only notice things that confirm your doubts. You miss opportunities that don't match your inner script. You attract people, environments, and outcomes that reflect your self-talk. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you have to really think about that. We bring to us what we need to prove that we're right. And if your internal dialogue is that you're not good enough, that who are you to be successful? You're not worth it. You're not tired of paying your dues. You don't see yourself that way. Then you're bringing yourself proof that you're right. But it's also, when you rewire, you're going to bring to yourself proof that you're right when you want to be successful. So it's up to you, because you're not the voice. You're the one listening. And this is the turning point. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of those thoughts. And that means you can challenge them, replace them, rewire them. But to do that, you must move from being reactive to being intentional. People that are reacting, you're reacting and bringing to you to prove you right on all of the bad things. But if you've already thought about your response and you decided to start changing your response, then you're being intentional. And by being intentional, you're starting to respond instead of react. And that's a huge difference. So bad internal dialogue thrives on two conditions. Number one, you being unaware. You don't even notice it. You don't even notice it when you're beating yourself up and destroying yourself. And agreement. You believe it without challenging it. And you need to have some pattern disruptors in there. Once you are aware of it and you're not in agreement with it, start figuring out what it's going to take to start catching yourself. Freedom begins the moment that you catch yourself thinking, and that awareness alone is power. From there, you can begin to ask the questions that changes everything. Who taught me to think this way? And do I still want to believe it? Who taught me to think this way? And do I still want to believe it? Because rewiring the script, it's not easy, but it's as easy as you want it to be. It's as hard as you want it to be and as easy as you want it to be. And there is definitely high performance systems, for transforming your internal dialogue. Number one, you would name the narrative. Write down 3 to 5 reoccurring negative thoughts. Be honest. What do you say to yourself when you're alone, when you fail, or when you're under pressure? Write it down. Then number 2, we're going to trace the origin. Ask, where did this come from? Parent, a coach, a failure. This step disconnects the thought from your identity and exposes it as programming. So when you don't question it, when you don't try and find out where it came from, when you don't try and disassociate from it, it's your identity. When you start disassociating from it and start seeing it as programming, it's no longer your identity. That quick, that fast. And then you have to challenge the lie. For each thought, ask, is this always true? What evidence contradicts this? Would I say this to someone I love? And I love that part. So one of my clients has a lot of females working for them. And for whatever reason, the females were having serious self-doubt. Not that men don't, but in this instance, there was a bunch of ladies on the staff, and they were all, as a group, having a bunch of self-doubt. So my coachee, she told them to write down everything negative that they say to themselves. And then she mandated that they tell their mom, their best friend, their significant other, those things. Say that to somebody that they love. And they all refused. As a group and as a whole, they refused. They're not going to say it to anybody else. And then, of course, she slaps them upside the head, not physically, but emotionally, and says, well, yeah, but it's okay to say it to you. I mean, if you wouldn't say it to someone that you love, then love yourself and don't say it to yourself. Because number 4, we need to create a new script that reflects your truth, not your trauma. I always mess up. Should be, I make mistakes, but I learn fast and I get better every time. I'm not good enough. Should be, I am more than enough. I grow stronger through every challenge. And we have to just catch ourselves, and that's the pattern disruptor that I'm talking about. You have to disrupt the pattern, and then you gotta choose to rewire. So it's through repetition that we're starting to rewire. You won't believe the new voice right away. Your old voice is strong. Your comfort zone is strong. So you're not going to believe your new voice right away. That's normal. Belief follows repetition. Speak it daily. Write it, record it, post it. And when the old voice shows up, don't fight it, replace it every single time. When the old voice is showing up, don't fight it, replace it every single time. Number 6, we have to have an identity alignment. Internal dialogue must match your desired identity. Internal dialogue must match your desired identity. Ask, what would the future version of me, the confident, successful, powerful version, say to themselves? Speak from that identity, not toward it. So internal dialogue must match your desired identity. Ask, what would the future version of me, the confident, successful, powerful version, say to themselves? Speak from that identity, not toward it. Internal dialogue and emotional regulation. Your thoughts fuel your emotions reinforce your thoughts. If you want to master your internal voice, you also have to master your state. You can do box breathing, psychological sighs, because that'll definitely calm the nervous system. You can do gratitude journaling to shift emotional focus, movement, physical action disrupts mental loops. It's funny how people that gamble, and unfortunately I come from a family that loves to gamble. I love to watch the shows in Vegas. I don't gamble a whole lot. But if you're losing at playing cards, you actually stand up and circle your chair and sit back down. And they actually believe that makes them change the pattern of luck. Think about it. Just the physical action disrupts the mental loop. So they've actually put it in their brain that if they stand up, circle the chair, sit back down, it changes luck. And I've seen it work so many times, it's not even funny because it definitely disrupts the mental loop of where they're losing. And then visualization. You got to mentally rehearse your future self speaking powerfully. Don't be a victim. Emotionally intelligent people don't just think positive. They catch, challenge, and change their state in real time. Then when the voice returns, you got to have some maintenance and mastery. Bad internal dialogue doesn't disappear forever. It evolves. It finds new ways to whisper. Mastery isn't about eliminating the voice. It's about becoming so practiced and replacing it that you no longer controls your decisions and your directions. It can't control your decisions and your directions because you are in control of it. Surround yourself with people who reflect your potential, not your past. The further you go, the further you evolve, the further you grow, the further you are buying into your own successful story, the smaller your friends and family group is going to become because they're going to try and hold you back. And the ones that are trying to hold you back instead of rising to greet you and meet you and join you, you're going to have to stay away from them. You're still going to need to run daily self-checks. What story am I telling myself right now? What story am I telling myself right now? Hold the line. You don't get to speak to yourself in a way that you wouldn't speak to someone you love. You just can't do it. And we get back to, speak like your future depends on it, because it does. You're not stuck. You're scripted. And the pen is in your hand. The most powerful thing you can do is take ownership of the voice inside your head. When you change the way you speak to yourself, you change what you believe is possible, you change how you show up, you change your standards, and eventually you change your life. So speak like somebody who believes in their future, because the world will only believe in you after you believe in yourself first. You have to believe in yourself first. And you truly, truly have to understand. You have to speak like your future depends on it, because it does. Brian Honeycutt, stay safe, stay strong.